I always believed in and was certain of and put the energy out there, if you want to use it in those terms, was to be successful. Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am cozy on the sofa in my bedroom. I have Louis down beside me here and I have all of the questions that you guys have left for me on the Instagram stories where I asked for questions for a Q&A, and also on the YouTube community post. So thank you so much for taking the time to leave me questions, and I'm going to go through as many of them as I can today. I am going to go as quickly as I can because I don't want this video to be ridiculously long, and also I want to get through as many of your questions as possible. I'm not going to read out the name of the person who left the question. Firstly, I don't know if you want me to read out your name. Secondly, some of the names I really don't want to be insulting by butchering them if I can't pronounce them properly. And also I want to try and get through as many questions as we can by just cutting down the time. So let's get started. And the first question that I have is, which bag belonging to your favorite YouTuber would you most like to steal? I recently watched a video on Nick's channel where he did an update to a previous video he did with the items he would like to steal from his luxury YouTuber fans. And I think it's a really interesting video. So I might steal his video idea and actually do that as a video, because I think it's really interesting and I really enjoyed his videos looking at what everybody would steal. One of the ones that jumps out is my good friend here on YouTube and in life now as well, Dale. I absolutely adore her purple Fendi baguette bag. I think it's absolutely stunning. I also really, we all know that I have had a hankering for the Pearl Mini, the Chanel Pearl Mini, for some time, although now with the prices they're just ridiculously high, and I know Jerusha has it and Claire Chanel has it and a few other people have it, but it's just so expensive now, so I would have to steal that because I don't think I would be buying it at the current retail. I would also like to steal a Birkin 25 in Rose Prix. Now the only one I know is one Tamara used to have, but I think it's one that was actually stolen, but it's absolutely stunning. And then a Mini Kelly. I'm just going to go and collect those from as many people as I can find. Question: underrated bags or designers? Can you do a video on Jo Malone products too? It's not bag related, but I'm curious. I love Jo Malone. One of my friends, Tyler, works for Jo Malone. I am addicted to the Blackberry and Bay scent. Some of the scents in Jo Malone I have to be careful with, like the pomegranate noir will give me headaches. I'm addicted to Blackberry and Bay. I use Blackberry and Bay in everything. I have the perfume, I have the char oil, I have candles, I have the hand moisturizer, body moisturizer, hand wash. It's by far my favourite scent, so I have it around the house. Underrated bags or designers? I would have to say Fendi. Before Dale came into my life, how would I now be without her? But before Dale came into my life, I was pretty unknown to Fendi. I hadn't really looked at their bags before, I hadn't paid it very much attention, and now that she's introduced me to them, sorry, I still have this. I think Fendi bags are fabulous. I think there's some really good options. I love the colours. I love the colours of the peekaboo. I love some of the coloured baguettes, and I think it is a brand that I certainly will be paying more attention to. Hey babe, I love your videos. Thank you so much. What is your all-time favourite bag? Oh, it has to be the Neverfull. I adore that bag. It's like my constant companion. It goes to work with me every day. It travels with me every day. It's just a fabulous bag. If we're taking out the Neverfull, which I do in a lot of my videos, because otherwise you're going to hear Neverfull all the time. I really love the Chanel Mini. I think it's such, especially for me in the rectangle shape, it just suits my body frame better. I think it's a great crossbody bag. It sits really well on me. It's just a bag I find very easy to use, and I have a bit of an addiction to them. I also love the Louis Vuitton Mini Capucine. I think it's a fabulous bag. It's a bag that introduced me to handheld bags and not always having to be crossbody. I really like it. It's one of my favourites at the minute, but all-time favourite is probably going to go to the Neverfull. Next question: what would you recommend for a small luxury SLG for odds and ends when you're using a small bag? I use my key clay, the Louis Vuitton key clay, for that, and I use it in bags like the Chanel Mini, and I will put in there maybe a plaster or two and hair grips and a hair bauble and maybe a bit of cash as well, and I will normally also have it in a sample perfume size rather than taking up the space of a full perfume. And that's really, to be honest, of all of my SLGs, that's probably the only one that I would consistently use in small bags. Your channel, thank you so much. Are you looking at adding any jewellery pieces in 2022? I added this last year. This is the Louis Vuitton Volt necklace, and I have to say it is one of my great successes of the year. I absolutely love it, and I really have Anita to thank for that. She encouraged this purchase. I really, really love it. I would look at more jewellery. I guess from this you're probably thinking luxury brand jewellery and not costume jewellery. When we were in Paris, I did try the Love bracelet, but the sizing wasn't right. I would like to look at that again. I really like a bangle, so that is something that speaks to me. I also really would like to try, my hair gets in the way, one of the Van Cleef and Apparel VCA for hire here, or the Dior, the little Dior one that sits here, or there is a Louis Vuitton round pendant that would sit higher, and I would really like to try that to sit up here to go with that sort of stack. So that's definitely on my list. Is there a bag brand that you would never buy from? Dolce & Gabbana, probably. Google, why not? I don't think I would buy from them. Bottega, I really like their leather. Most of their bags I have found too trendy, although I really like the Mini Jodie, but I think probably Dolce & Gabbana is the best answer to that question. Next question, did you visit Hermes in Paris? How was your experience, and hope you enjoyed our city? I absolutely adored your city. I'm coming back to your city this year with my husband. It's one of my favourite cities in the world, and I'm so excited to come back. I had a fabulous experience in Paris, but I have the video I think before this, or two before this, is my Paris shopping experience video where I talk through all of our shopping experiences, where we went, where we were treated well, where we were treated not so well, and all of the experiences in respect of it. So that would give you a little bit more info on that one. If I go into that, we'll be here all day because I like to chat. Okay, tips on getting the best deal or value for your luxury picks. This is getting so much harder because the retail prices are increasing so much, and whenever the retail prices increase, it makes basic marketing sense that so does the resale market also then increase. And I used to say for this, there are certain bags that if you take your time and you have patience and you monitor the resale market, you will be able to find for a discount and for a better deal. That is getting harder and harder because as retail bottom line goes up, everything has gone up, especially if it's a bag that is very, very hot or very sought after. If you are willing to look for a bag that may not be just as popular, you will get a better deal on it. Have patience as well. If you are willing to wait it out, you sometimes can get a really good deal. The twist bag is a bag that I really love, but you can get really good deals on that. On the resale market, it seems to be a bag that people don't go for just as much, rather than say the capucines, and I think you would maybe get a good deal on it. But it's definitely getting harder. Tips I do have though is that to use, for example, if you're shopping Preloved, check whether or not there are a cashback site that will allow you to shop on that and then you're getting some money back. Check whether or not there are loyalty points or loyalty deals that you can get. I always use my Brown Thomas card whenever I shop in Dublin, and those points do add up. The Louboutin boots, the black ones, I bought that not long ago, were covered completely by my points. That is something to look at as well. Our favourite bag from Chanel, Dior, LV and Hermes. Okay, Chanel would probably be the mini rectangle. I also do love the 19. I love the classic flap. But I think the mini rectangle is probably my favourite. I just find it so wearable. Dior would have to be the saddle. I've only just bought a saddle. I got it in Paris. I was addicted to it in that colour. I just find it unique. I love bags that are a little bit different, and I am just loving the saddle at the minute. LV, I think LV are knocking it out of the park for me at the minute. There is a lot of money that I could spend in LV. There are quite a lot of bags that I really, really like at the moment. Definitely the Neverfull is one of my all-time favourites. The mini capucines I absolutely adore. I also like the twist bag. I really do like it. I think LV at the minute though is on point. Hermes, I am between what I would have as my favourite at the minute as either a Birkin 25 or the Mini Kelly. Both of them ridiculously expensive options, I know. Both overly popular items, I know, but they would be top up there for me. Thoughts on micro bags? A bit of TBE energy, Cassie Thorpe style. I love mini bags. Micro bags, for me, maybe one. I don't think an awful lot of them because my phone generally needs to go into a bag. I think that they're probably a trend. I think a lot of them are a lot of money for what they are. I think if you're somebody like Cassie who can pull off so many of those looks that she has and the way she carries them with her two fingers, I'm just not going to be able to pull it off. I'm going to look ridiculous. And Dale said this in a recent video. Against my body shape, one of those wee tiny bags, a lot of them not going to be very flattering. Any bags that you regret selling? Yes. Two come to mind quite quickly. I sold a Louis Vuitton Speedy in the 25 in the Empreinte leather in a deep pink magenta type colour, and I really regret selling it. I shouldn't have sold it at all. I sold it for a ridiculously low price for what I sold it for. Even if I didn't use it that much, it would have been far better still being in my collection. A lot of my bags are quite small. It was a bit bigger. I could have fit more into it. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking, oh, I have this bag sitting on my shelf and it's such an expensive bag and really it shouldn't be there, but I never should have sold it. I also regret selling, I sold a Chanel Square Mini in the caviar leather, in the turquoise, in the 18B. I have it in the rectangle now and I regret selling that because I took a bang to the head and I sold it for a ridiculously low price. I would be embarrassed to tell you what I sold that caviar Chanel Mini for. It was ridiculously low, so I also regret selling. Your most special loved bag in your whole collection, never fill. Isn't that crazy? Whenever you see some of the bags, and I know I'm not in my dressing room at the minute, but some of the bags that I have, I know that that's not what people would expect me to say, but I adore the Neverfull. I think it's a fabulous, fabulous workhorse. If we're taking the Neverfull aside, the magenta capucines is one, definitely. The Houndstooth 19 is one. Loving the Petite Mal, but I've only just added it and I've only just added the RD Capucine, so I can't really comment on them. But certainly the Houndstooth 19 and the Magenta Capucines are way, way up there. Your luxury wish list for 2022. I think I need to stop. Look at you being an enabler. I love it. Yeah, I bought a lot in 2021. I'm not going to say that I'm going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I don't think my spending and my shopping is all very, very budgeted, and I know it seems a lot, but it's worked out and it's fine. I do want to maybe slow down on the Chanel. I think I really have to have a word with myself about those mini rectangles. I don't really think I need to keep adding them. I've got quite a few of them. The Chanel Classic Flap price as well. Expensive. I would love a Birkin 25 in Rose Purpri, however you pronounce. I would love a Birkin 25 in that particular cover. I would love a Mini Kelly. But the price on both of those at the minute on the resale market is ridiculous. I don't have a huge profile or shopping history with Hermes. I'm not going to buy things on Hermes I don't want just to get one. I will buy things on Hermes that I do want, but I'm not going to spend lots and lots of money on things I don't want. They're high up my list of things that I would love to get. I don't know whether I'll ever get them, but certainly they're on the list. I also would really like to look at the Love bracelet if I was in a Cartier that I was a bit more comfortable in. I would also like a pair of the men's Dior trainers that Anuri just got in her vlog in Dubai. Absolutely love them. Love the men's style in them. I think they're fabulous. So they're quick thinking of what's on my luxury wish list. Next question. This is a good one, but it maybe needs a bit more time than what I'll be able to give it here. Coming from an average background, what mindset helped you manifest wealth and disposable income? The honest answer to this, when I was growing up, is that I wasn't manifesting wealth. Back then, to be honest, I didn't know what manifest meant. I didn't think about being wealthy, or I didn't think about gaining money. I thought about gaining money in so much as I wanted to be able to live and pay my bills, but not wealth or disposable income or to shop like this. What I did, I suppose, manifest without really knowing that's what I was doing. But what I always believed in and was certain of and put the energy out there, if you want to use it in those terms, was to be successful. Rather than the wealth or the money attributed to it, I wanted to be successful. And to be honest, I always believed that I would be. I suppose part of that is because I am a very, very hard worker, and I will work to get whatever it is that I'm working towards. I will put the work in. I always believed that I would succeed in my career. I suppose maybe that's a bit naive. Maybe some would say it's a bit arrogant. Again, I suppose it is partly because I knew I would work. Academically, I was always pretty strong, so my career is linked to being strong academically, so I suppose that gave me an indicator that that might be okay. But rather than manifesting wealth and money, I manifested a career and success and working hard and establishing myself in that career, and the financial side came almost as a byproduct, came from being successful in my career rather than focusing on money. That is something, though, I probably could do a whole video on talking about. Well, I have done videos on talking about money. I did actually start a channel to talk about business and money and things like that, but I just don't have time to commit to it properly, and I won't do things that I can't do properly. I will not do things half-heartedly. That's just not in my nature. So I have had to take a step back from that, but I hope that gives you a little bit. If you would like any more information on that or a video in respect of anything to do with that, just come into the comment box and let me know. The next one just says love you and lots of lovely emojis. Thank you so much. I love you too. Thank you so much for watching me. Thank you all for supporting me. Thank you for being with me on Instagram. Thank you for commenting, for liking, for subscribing. You have no idea how much it means to me. Did you try to get an Hermes apparent? Did you try to get an Hermes appointment in Paris? Yes, we did. As I said, I have uploaded the Paris experience video, which will give a bit more insight to that. But yes, we did try and we didn't get one. Both of us tried on both days and neither of us were lucky enough to get an appointment in Paris. What watches do you own? I'm guessing by this you maybe mean luxury watches. I don't, high tier luxury watches, I don't own any. I am at the minute wearing a Michael Kors watch. I have a few Michael Kors watches. I have a Thomas Sabo watch. I probably have some others but none of them are high level. If you mean like Rolex or Cartier or anything like that, I don't have any watches at that level. Question: do you purchase luxury items for your kids, such as shoes and shirts and shoes? Lol, no, I absolutely do not. I have two boys. They are 2 and 5. I spend a lot of my time wondering how on earth that particular stain is coming out of that clothing, how I need to buy more trainers again because the toes are out of the trainers that I only bought 2 weeks ago, how there's no knees left in any of my son's school trousers. No luxury wear for them. It just, in my life with my children, would be a complete and utter waste. No. What is your dream Chanel bag that you can paint in your imagination? Wow, what a question. It would have the ability to go crossbody. It would have the... Actually, if you watched my Paris vlog, there is a bag in it, although it is fabric, and it was a fabric that attached an awful lot of fluff. It had numbers over it though that were quite large. I really liked the look of it. It could go crossbody. So I think it would be a bit like a seasonal bag that could go crossbody, that looked familiar to a flap bag, to a classic flap. Probably... I'm thinking in my head a little bit like Dale's CC bag that she has, the denim CC bag that looks like a classic flap but isn't and goes crossbody. Mine wouldn't be blue denim though. It would be some sort of fabric or print that was interesting, spoke to me, probably colourful, knowing where I'm coming from. Definitely would have the ability to go crossbody. How are you? Thank you for asking. I am still pretty run down, even though we had a break over Christmas and the New Year. I still can't shake this cough that I have. I have been working like a crazy person since September. I've probably been run down since then. I've been quite ill. But hopefully we have started 2 new staff already. We actually start another new staff member tomorrow. We need 1 more. And hopefully whenever the staff members get settled in, things will get a little bit more manageable and work and back to the way it used to be, and I will feel physically a lot better then, and mentally as well, because running a business and still carrying a full job basically is very stressful and very pressured, and you need all of the spaces to be filled. So hopefully that will help things get a lot better. But thank you so much for asking me that. Favourite LV bag, the Neverfull. Mini Capucines is up there. Love it. Got a Chanel card holder in iridescent beige calfskin. It's gorgeous. I'm worried it's too delicate. What are your thoughts? I'm not maybe the best person to ask because I use my bags. I don't really baby them. I will say though, with my lambskin bags, I'm more aware of them than with caviar. I don't use lambskin, for example, if it's raining very heavily. I will use it more sparingly, and I will take account of where I'm going or what I'm doing. Calfskin though, I have a couple of calfskins bags and I have found them to wear quite well. I have the rose gold bag, which is iridescent, although it's caviar, but it has worn quite well. I think with it being beige, there's probably the potential for some corner wear, and that's just something to be aware of, and some discoloration on the corners if it's in and out of your bag. But congratulations on your card holder. Iridescent Chanel is beautiful. Fabulous question. What bag do you not use but refuse to sell, and why? At the minute, and I actually brought it with me because I saw this question, at the minute it would be this one. I do use it, but I don't use it very much. And I should use it more because it's so stunning. And the reason I refuse to sell it at the minute anyway is because it's so stunning. And because it took me so long to find it. It's caviar. I love the jewellery on it here. I love this pull string. And at the minute, I completely and utterly refuse to sell this, but I definitely don't use it enough. It's one of the bags that I use quite rarely. Another one at the minute I don't use too much is the Trendy. I talked about this in my most unused video, and it's because I just haven't had really the opportunity to use it at the minute, but I won't sell it at the minute either. Your first Chanel mini rectangle was this one. This is the Chanel Raspberry from the 18B collection in caviar, in the quilting, in the silver hardware, and I actually bought this from Fashion File. It was in brand new excellent condition, which I think it near enough still is. It was as it was described, and it was a brilliant buy. I've had an awful lot of use out of this. I love the colour, love the caviar, very carefree to use. Fabulous bag, no regrets. But it did start and spark a little bit of an addiction to the Chanel mini rectangle, which has been a bit expensive. Item you regret not purchasing or wish you had but is no longer available. Well, Pearl Mini. I had a chance to buy that a while ago at a price that I thought was very high, but now when you look at what they're selling at, was very, very reasonable. And I was going to buy it, but I hesitated, and then when I went to buy it, and I didn't hesitate very long, but when I went to buy it, it was gone. And I regret that. Even though Dale and Connor think it looks like an art project, I really like it. I regret not buying. There was a mini Kelly that came up a while ago in excellent brand new condition with everything, and again I didn't buy it because I thought the price was too high and was crazy, and I couldn't spend that on a bag, and compared to the prices now, it was a bargain. And I regret not buying that because it was in Rose Papri, which is the colour I really, really love from Hermes. And it was exactly what I wanted, and I still, as I'm talking about it, I'm getting angry at myself because although it was expensive, it was nowhere near what the price of them selling now is. What's your opinion on the Givenchy Antigona? It's probably not for me, if I'm honest. I don't like bags that are boxy or bulky, and I think it looks a little bit too bulky for me, even in the mini. I have seen some that other people have, and I think they're very pretty colours. There's a burgundy that somebody has, is absolutely stunning, but I just don't think it's for me. What's your favourite bag in your collection? I love your videos. Thank you very much. Neverfull, mini Capucines, Petite Mal now, Arty Capucines, Houndstooth, Tweed. There are a few. I don't like to pick favourites. Also, the Chanel Graffiti was a favourite for a long, long time. The Chanel, the multicoloured, bright Chanel Tweed. There's so many. Stop making me pick favourites. My children might hear, they're just in the other room. What bag do you carry in the rain? I carry all of my bags, really. I still use my Neverfull in the rain. What I don't really carry is if I'm lifting a Chanel bag, I will lift a caviar as opposed to lambskin. This one that is beside me, because it was the first rectangle mini that I had, I took to Paris and it rained. It rained heavy the whole time we were in Paris, and that got used every day, and it was saturated, and it's still absolutely perfect. Pardon me. I also use my Palm Springs Mini if it's heavy rain and I'm looking something more casual, because there's no vachetta on it and it's black treated leather. I use it a lot in the rain, actually, come to think of it. SLG pouches for your daily essentials in my Neverfull that comes to work is the kitchen sink, but the toiletry 15 is in there, and the mini pochette is in there, and also the key clay is in there, and I use all three every day. The mini pochette has in it pens and a calculator and work type things. The toiletry 15 has in it hand cream, plasters, blister plasters, just in case, hall soothers at the minute, things like that. It has hair clips probably as well. And then the key clay has in it a little fob that I need for a particular part of my work, and it has headphones in it, and it has hair clips in it as well. What is the wear and tear on your most used bag, except the Neverfull lol? You've watched my channel before. Probably, actually, I'll go and get it. Probably this one. If you look on this one, there is colour transfer on the back here. I don't know if the vernier is shining on the light if you'll see that, but there's a little dark patch here, which is no doubt from dark denim. There is that it on the back? There's also a chip somewhere. There is also a chip on the bottom of the V here. If you can see just at my nail, there is a chip on the monogram in the white. Now, that is not a lot, I know, to be saying that that's the most wear and tear, but I do look after them. I do use them, but I'm careful. Well, I'm not overly careful with them. I'm careful when I bring them back and put them back, but I do use them, and I don't let being careful with them or watching out what I'm doing with them impact how I use them. I maybe sometimes should do more, but I do have quite a rotation of bags. This one is probably got the most wear on it, because when I bought that I had a much smaller collection, so it probably got a lot more use than a lot of my bags do now. The Chanel Mini, or the graffiti, the reissue, the turn lock is starting to be, you can see a bit of wear where that's turning, but that's been used a huge amount. You're also seeing a little bit of wear on the turn lock on the Chanel 19, but again, it's getting a lot of use. I've done a wear and tear video as well on the tweed, the black and white tweed. There's a bit of wear on it, but again, for a tweed bag especially, got a lot of use. Do you think, is the Louis Vuitton pochette accessoire worth the retail price of $1,050? Well, whether or not a bag is worth it, I suppose, is relative. It's relative to your circumstances. It's relative to how much you would use the bag, what gap it would fill in your own wardrobe and your financial circumstances. For me, probably not at that price. I don't think the pochette accessoire I would use enough on its own for that price, but I do have the multi-pochette, and I probably use that similar to a pochette accessoire. I probably also like bags with a bit more going on to spend that sort of money in it. I think it is a pouch. I think the price increase on that has been astronomical. It certainly used to be very good value at the prices it used to be, because it was priced as a pouch. It's very much now priced as a bag. I do think I would have to buy a longer strap to go with it. I just don't think for me it would be worth $1,050. I would probably look at maybe putting the extra to it, either for the multi-pochette, which I actually use a lot, or I would maybe look to see Preloved for, say, a favourite or an Eva clutch. I just think it's a lot for what it is. Ooh. What colour leather hardware options would you prefer on your future Mini Kelly? I like the way this is written, because it says on your future Mini Kelly. So we're putting it out there that I'm going to have a Mini Kelly in my life like this one. I would, not that I've given this much thought, but I definitely would love to have an Hermes bag in Rose Prairie. I used to think that I would want Rose Prairie in the Mini Kelly, but I am pretty addicted to Rose Prairie Birkin 25. I then would, and I'm not as flexible on the Birkin, that's the colour I want the Birkin in. In the mini Kelly, I would love one in the Rose Pourpre, or I would really love one in Anemone. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful purple colour. I also like the, oh, I'm going to butcher this, the turquoise type one that is out at the minute. I really like that colour as well. I think I would probably, if I had my choice, prefer gold hardware because I really love gold hardware. I think Connor told me at one point that the Rose P Mini Kelly wasn't made in gold hardware. I think he told me that. I would not be turning down a mini Kelly though if it was in palladium. I would not at all. But I think my preference would be gold hardware, not gold colour. Bright colour. Bright purple, Rose P, turquoise. What places would you recommend visiting in Ireland? Absolutely come and I will give you the tour and do the map out. Giant's Causeway, stunning. Dunluce Castle, stunning. Galway, fabulous place. Fabulous, fabulous. The cliffs down by Galway, fabulous. Dublin for the crack. Galway City for the crack. Definitely do the Atlantic Way. There's so much in Ireland that I would recommend seeing. So much. Kelly or Birkin? I used to say Kelly back whenever I was addicted to every bag had to have a crossbody strap. I would now probably say Birkin 25 or mini. Try to get the mini Kelly in Paris, dying to know you experience. Yes, I did try and I have uploaded the Paris experience video which will give you much more info into that. Turning 40 next year and I'm so torn between the Chanel 19 or the medium classic flap. Help. Both fabulous bags, both very different. Classic flap obviously has a very high price point. If you are going to want a classic classic flap, can't speak. If you're going to want the classic flap in your future at some point, I would say buy it sooner rather than later because they're going to keep going up in price. The Chanel 19 for me is a more casual bag. It's a more, I suppose, user-friendly bag for me. Somebody said that the 19 was where fashion meets functionality, and I think that pretty much sums up the 19 for me. Very, very usable. I also think it's quite trendy. I like the big CC on it. I like the mixed hardware. I like the chain top handle that's on it. But the classic's a classic and it's a fabulous bag as well. I think if you're going to want one of those with the price increases, I would not be putting it off too much longer. The 19's going to go up as well, no doubt, but it's just not at the level of the classic flap just yet. What do you do for a living, Amelia? Please, I own a company. If stock was depleted, did you feel it was COVID related or Christmas related? Also, which stores deliver to the hotels? All of that I have covered in the Paris experience video, but in short form I think it was pandemic related for the stock as opposed to Christmas related. Are you able to say what type of business you own and what city in the world have you had the best luxury experience? Business, no. Obviously there are other people involved in my business and everyone has privacy and I just don't go into details on that. Respect of the city, I've had the best luxury experience. Dublin, I always have a fabulous luxury experience. Anita is hard to beat in Dublin, in Louis Vuitton. My beloved SA that was my Chanel version of Anita has left, but I used to have an absolute ball in there as well. We had a fabulous time in Louis Vuitton in Paris. The experience and the service we got in Paris was second to none. I also had a really, really good time in Louis Vuitton in New York whenever I was there with my husband. We had a great, great experience there. Those would probably be top three. Lovely. What's your pet hate? Go on, you gotta have at least one. About handbag collectors or lovers? Oh yes, I do. And I don't even need to think about this because it comes out of me quite often whenever I rant. And it is handbag lovers, collectors putting down other people's collection or putting down other people's bags, or telling you your bag is basic, or telling you your bag is done, or telling you that you shouldn't wear that anymore, or telling you that that's just out. I can't stand that. We're all in different stages of life. We all do different jobs. I, for one, have said many times, I don't spend my time at Fashion Week. I wish I did, but I don't. And I don't have a lifestyle that is very up to date with what is the latest trends and what's ins and what's out. And I think to just be telling people that what they've spent their hard-earned money on is done or is gone or is basic is offensive, and it really bugs me. Thoughts on the Chanel Square Mini. Thoughts on Chanel Patent Leather. My favourite colour is orange, and the only bright orange I've seen to be able to find that I love in my Chanel is patent. Hesitant to spend the money on a material that can be fickle. The colour payoff makes my heart sing. I would, unless you have a huge collection and you're a collector and this is going to be one bag in your collection that you rotate a lot of the time, I would probably try and wait and get it in non-patent leather. Patent leather, it does get a bad rap. Now this one that is Louis' version of patent, and there is a bit of colour transfer on this, but it's worn quite well. The only thing I'll say about patent, you have to be very careful about what it touches. I ruined 2 Louis Vuitton zippy wallets with scan photographs, and I put the scan photograph against the wallet, and when I took it off, the whole picture was printed on the wallet, and that's something I learned the hard way. Magazines will do the same. It's just not as durable a leather as you will get if you can find caviar or even lambskin. I know you're saying that it's the only one you can find, but at Chanel prices, you want a bag that's going to be able to do a bit of wear and tear, and if it's something you want to use a lot, I would just be cautious of getting it in patent leather. Your stock in general was terrible. What was your experience? Was there a language barrier with the essays? Again, check out the experience video, but stock was terrible, to give you it in short form. Language barrier, no, they all spoke pretty good English. That's embarrassing and should be shameful that we go to their country and expect them to speak our language, whereas we should really be trying to make the effort. But I didn't find it a barrier, and I didn't find any of the essays or the staff to be dismissive or rude because we didn't speak French and we were speaking English. I thought they were all very lovely when it came to that regard. Is Paris really the best shopping experience, or would you prefer New York? Paris was fabulous. New York, when I was back there with my husband, was also fabulous. I am hoping to have a trip to Paris this year with my husband, and I'm also hoping to have a trip to New York with a friend in the not too distant future. So watch this space, I suppose, on that question. What do you have against the word when? Is it an Irish thing to exclusively use whenever? This is not a dig, I'm just genuinely interested, and since I noticed it, I can't not hear it. Lol. It's not an Irish thing. It's, how do I say this without sounding like a teacher? It's a grammar thing. When you are talking about an event or a happening or a time that is potentially going to happen in the future, it is grammatically preferable to say whenever as opposed to when. I don't even notice that I do this. I studied English many, many years ago, and this is obviously one of the things that I have picked up and has stayed in my vocabulary without me even really realising it. But it is, to use when to describe an event in the future would be the secondary linguistic word to use to describe that happening. Whenever is preferable. Now, did you know you were going to get an English lecture in response to that question? I honestly genuinely didn't even realise that I do that, but obviously some things have sunk in there many years ago. And we're down to our last 3. What luxury bags do you think are the best value for your money? Value for money and luxury bags. Are they value for money? The price of them, can you say that's value? No, probably not. I think for any individual person, the luxury bags that are best value for the money are the ones that you use. Be that a bag that you have spent £500 on or £5,000, whereas obviously the £5,000 is a higher unit price and costs more to purchase. If you use that bag regularly but don't use the £500 bag, is the £5,000 bag not actually better value because you're using it? So I think it comes down to what you yourself will use. I think try and block out the noise, block out what the internet and social media and the world is telling you should buy, block out what it's telling you what you should use, and focus on what would actually work for your lifestyle, what you actually love, what's going to make you happy carrying it. And I think that will help you to deduct what bag is actually going to be more value for your hard-earned money. Are there any luxury items beside bags on your 2022 wish list? Yes, the Cartier Love Bracelet I would like to see. I've also been wanting, there's an Hermes ring I've wanted for this finger for some time. Again, those Dior trainers I really like. I would also like to add some more, not exclusively high-level designer clothing, but some good quality clothing. I have gaps in my clothing wardrobe that definitely need to be plugged. When I come to putting outfits together, I have gaps, so I would like to pay some attention to that as well. And finally, if you're still with me at this point, wow, what is your fashion focus for 2022? Fill in those gaps. I really want to keep, well, I need to get the weight off that I've put back on over crazy time since September. And that's not for everybody to say, oh, you look great. It's not about that at all. My clothes don't fit again, so it needs to come off. I then want to look at my wardrobe and for what I'm putting together outfit wise, where the gaps are, and fill them, and start buying more conscientiously to fill certain gaps. So looking at what I need to put into my wardrobe, certain colours of shoes or certain colours of skirts or whatever, and filling those gaps so it's easier to put together. When it comes to bags, we all know that I buy bags that are fun, that speak to me at the minute. I'm so impulsive with bags. I know at that price that's ridiculous. I'll continue to be. And I'll continue to buy bags that just speak to me and that I love. And I suppose a fashion focus, maybe not so much fashion, but I do want to consider whether or not I want to buy an Hermes bag. Do I want to go down the reseller route? Am I willing to pay the price of the reseller route, or is it just too high now for me? Do I want to pursue that in any serious way or not? But what I can tell you is you're not going to see me ditching everything else because I'm focusing on Hermes. That's just not going to happen. But I would like to have a serious word with myself and figure out if it's something I actually want to pursue or not. But definitely filling the gaps in my clothing wardrobe so as I feel that I have a more rounded wardrobe and happier with what I am wearing. And if you got to there, if you had stayed with me that whole time, we are at the end. The clock is telling me it's 50 minutes and 30 seconds. So I am going to have to do some editing. I will try not to cut out anybody's questions. I'll try and keep them all in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to this very long video. Thank you for leaving me questions. Thank you for just everything and for supporting my channel. I really, really appreciate it. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next video.